this is Underwear Guy, and for this part of the tutorial I'm going to talk about Superman capes. The cape element is really an important part of the overall look, and there's a few different options that I found through my research. The original fully packed costume had a really simple cape. It's right here, and it's just a simple tie in back with the front having a nice finish. The color is probably my favorite element because it's a dark red, which is more in keeping with the Superman Returns look, which is what I was basing a lot of my elements off of. The downside is that it's a fairly lightweight and somewhat see-through material, and it doesn't have the same kind of sturdiness that you might expect out of a cape. It also doesn't go down very long. It's really kind of almost like a 3/4 cape, so it doesn't have that dramatic flare that you would get out of the full Superman cape. Knowing that you would want some other options, I went ahead and purchased a more recent licensed Superman cape, which is the Man of Steel cape. So this is the cardboard photographic insert from the package. This is a one-size-fits-all cape, and it's obviously a much more robust and substantial costume element. As you can see here, it comes with a really nice embroidered shield, and this is actually not a bad way, considering this isn't too expensive a cape. If you're looking for the chest symbol element and it's hard to find, you could actually pull it off this one. You'd have to undo the stitching and it would get a little messy on the edges that you'd have to clean up, but it's not necessarily a bad idea because this is really nice. It's kind of a felt with a lot of embroidery to give it texture. It looks pretty decent. The cape itself, the one concern I have is that it's a really bright red color, and it doesn't really match up well with the darker tones that I wanted in my costume, so I didn't end up using this one, but I wanted to highlight this as an option. I would say you definitely get your money's worth with this cape. It's more expensive than buying a whole costume out of one bag, which is a little more typical, but this is dual layer fabric, so it has a lot of weight and it's very substantial. It's also very large. The total length is 50 inches, so it comes down, depending on how tall you are, much lower down than the other cape that I just showed you. It also has a really nice closure in front, which is simple, but it's actually very effective, and instead of having some sort of messy tie to deal with, it's just a little clasp like that. It has a somewhat high collar, so it can take a little fiddling to get the front of the cape to actually fall right across your shoulders, but I do recommend this if you're looking for something and you're not worried about matching this brighter red color. It's definitely something I'm happy with, and I might use it sometime in the future. The last cape I'm going to highlight, and I included a version of this in my buying guide, is just going and getting a regular cape. They often all come with hoods. This is from Spirit Halloween, and it's a dark red velvet cape. And the reason I liked it was because, again, the dark red color, it's very rich. It does have texture and a whole variety of different reflective surfaces, so the look is really rich, and I actually really like this version as an option. You would have to kind of modify a few things. It's not hard to remove or just even fold down the hood element of the cape, and it's a simple tie in front, nothing particularly fancy. The only downside is it's a fairly thin material, so you can again kind of see through, and that doesn't look as good as something more substantial. You could even go to the trouble of buying two of these and then kind of sewing them together to be dual-sided, but again, we're talking about having fun, not necessarily producing a full movie costume. So between the three, I actually, for my own purposes, liked this dark velvet red cape because of the color match. If you're talking about just overall what's the best buy for getting the highest quality, I would definitely go with the Man of Steel licensed cape because it's huge, it's substantial, you get your money's worth, and it looks pretty good. Alright, this is Underwear Guy talking about the Superman cape options for the underwear look, and check out the other videos for other elements of the Superman costume.